What's going on, guys? You can see from the title of the video that I am officially done with the home gym with a number of things actually in the channel, and I'll get into that here as we progress. But primarily I'm talking about this garage gym space, which I've been operating in for some time. Finally got some key pieces in here, and it's kind of unfair because I actually got a basement gym that I'll still be recording in, putting in some other loose compact areas. I made a whole video about making this really small space gym that I'll be using for some other things such as the total gym expedience, or just some other things to kind of share with you guys on the channel. But really this is gonna be the bread and butter. Been a long time coming. This is kind of a meme in the home gym community where you kind of say you're done, but you're not really gonna be done. What I really wanna do, and I hate to make this another kind of update overview video, I'll get into some things of why I chose certain pieces. Even though I cover things and I've done a lot of reviews, and I'll still be doing other reviews, I'll get into how I'm gonna be doing these other future review videos for other equipment, but I wanna kind of pump the brakes on that. But at the end of the day, whenever I was covering something, my overall goal was kind of really finding and sharing things with you guys that I thought were the best fit for me in this home gym space, whether I was either in a garage or a bigger space such as this, or it could be in a basement, small space setting. So I feel like I've kind of narrowed down those pieces, and that's what I want to get into and share with you guys in this video. Of course, this is just my opinion. You guys certainly share yours as well. Bunch of different pieces here on the channel that I've reviewed in separate videos. You guys want to check that out. I will link everything seen in this video down below in the description box, as well as some promo codes. Help support me in the channel if you guys are curious. Let's first talk about this garage gym space. So this is a 3-car garage I'm working with. The gym pretty much takes up about 1.5 of that. I can still functionally and practically use the other side and pull 2 of our other cars in this side of the gym. You guys watching the channel knew it was getting very tight, very packed, very condensed with stuff, with reviews and stuff I was checking out. And again, like I said at the start of the video, I'm really trying to fine tune what I thought was the best fit for me before I really committed to laying down stall mats and just big pieces of equipment like you guys are seeing here. But I will tell people, if you think my gym was cluttered, had a bunch of stuff, you should check out other people's channels and what people really do with maximizing space. Or even Gunnar Peterson, the world famous celebrity trainer. His gym is crazy, packed to the gills. I was just personally getting sick of stepping over stuff, hitting stuff, and ultimately at the end of the day, I feel like I found my core pieces that I'm sticking with, that it just made sense now to finally commit to this space. Of course, that meant I had to get rid of and offload and unfortunately throw away a lot of stuff. Just the small stuff especially, nobody wants that stuff. And I even rented a whole dumpster, an Instagram post I shared how I threw a lot of stuff away. 9 times out of 10, most people just do not want things. Even selling it, I had friends sell stuff for me that they have, even on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Craigslist. No one wants it, so 9 times out of 10, I always just end up giving stuff away or donating it. So big things that only things that actually totally sold were my vertical leg press and my power blocks. Everything else I've pretty much given away. That includes like my Power Tech. My nephew has that, so I can still use it if I want to. But no one wanted that, I think, because it just doesn't click in most people's brains of what it really does. What I do think, and this is the reason I've been covering a lot more all-in-one trainers, is I think this is the product I think most people can kind of understand and are gravitating towards. Anytime I'm going to review something and I'm offering a friend like, hey, do you want to have this at your house so I can review it? Everyone jumps on that right away. All that to say, that's why I kind of focused on this being the pivotal piece. Forrest USA hooked me up a lot with weights, even these, I believe they're called VersaGrip stall mats. These are new gapless stall mats that have essentially, they don't pull apart. And if you go on Forrest USA's website, you can always see what people are buying. It does seem like their stall mats, and I even asked them, are a huge seller. So these worked out really good. Again, they're gapless, so they're not gonna pull apart. So I loved that. And that's one of the reasons I didn't commit to putting stall mats in initially, because I just didn't know if I was gonna be in here. I had some other stall mats, you guys will see here, laid down around other machines, but that was one of the big reasons why I didn't commit to stall mats. I really want to avoid making this a whole X15 review video because I have other videos I made already about this, and I'm sure you're gonna see a lot more in the future. A lot of reasons why I went ahead with this one or chose this one, and that is because aside from aesthetics, it is a very practical machine and I think covers all the things that I personally am gonna be needing, and that was something I really thought long and hard about. Specifically, the big thing I like about this, and I mentioned this in a previous video when I covered a lot of the machines, is that I love this has a 2-to-1 and also a 1-to-1 cable ratio. So you guys know, again, 2-to-1 ratio cuts the whole weight stack in half. So even though this thing is 200 pounds as far as the weight stack is concerned, you really, if you have a 2-to-1 ratio only machine or all-in-one trainer, it only lifts in like a max 100. So it's very easy to say top things out with a lat pull down, seated row, and this works out really good with these attachments on this machine. But if you want to go a little bit heavier, you just attach this carabiner to both these clips, and then you have the 1-to-1 ratio, which I think 200 pounds is fine. Not to mention you have band peg options down here to attach further weight. Of course, you could add things like a gym pin to add further weight, but I think 200 pounds honestly is probably fine for me with what I'm doing with it. Storage shelves are great for a number of things. I'm trying to be very particular about all the little small things that I'm gonna be adopting and using, and kind of really getting down to brass tacks on what I think is the most efficient and most interesting or most versatile, because I still like to do creative things, but I don't think you need so much stuff. So got some stuff for like weight vests. I've been using this a lot. I gotta talk about this Wolf tactical weight vest. That is awesome. I got a lot of medicine balls. I used to be huge into medicine balls, but I gotta get more of that. Just threw my X3 up here in the carrying case. I'll use that later. Love this rip ramped wedge. Was not a big wedge person. This thing is cool because it has these little soft grooves underneath here for resistance bands. So I've been using this a lot. I first got this a while ago and just was not really interested in it. But once I got this, and the owner, Jason, told me about this, shameless plug, there's a discount code with all their products down below. With his squat harness, which you guys will see here, one of the best exercises that I didn't realize were at my disposal, using especially now with a functional trainer, all-in-one trainer. When you put this on here and you angle that wedge like that, hits your glutes, hits your calves, it just feels excellent. Feels like a solid, great leg exercise. Tons of storage hooks and options here. So you got 2 barbell holders back there, some other hooks behind the machine. Still love my Rogue Agro 3. That is still something that I definitely, I love. I'm only gonna really need just 1 barbell, and that's why I was really particular about that barbell. I have no intention of getting like, you know, even beyond 2 barbells, to be honest. I have an old one back there. Force USA did hook me up with a lot of their attachments. So they gave me this large attachment storage site thing, which is honestly a godsend. I threw away a lot of old attachments, again, I was just not using. And this really helps declutter it. It's almost like a little trolley you can kind of pull around with you if you want to. It stores neatly behind this treadmill over here. When I start to work out, I can leave it there, or I can roll it out a little bit and kind of access it. It holds a lot of heavy stuff, and it is not just limited to Force USA equipment. You could hold and store a number of things there to your liking. You could even store these lever arms back there. These are a little bit bigger. These are, I said before, you guys know I love lever arms, but I've come to the conclusion that as much as I love them, I'm only really using them for like 4 exercises: bench press, shrugs, some rows, and then overhead presses. That's pretty much it. As much as I like being creative, and you'll see some other creative stuff you can do here with this machine, I just find like their basic lever arms are fine for me. I may regret that, but that's just something I'm really trying to dial down, is keeping things as simple as possible, and that's what I like about these. These are kind of small. This does have a little TV mount. Seems a little excessive, but also really cool. So I'll probably mount something there. Got a little attachment up here for some TRX suspension training, so I mess with that a little bit. Finishing up here with the Force USA stuff, this is probably the biggest thing that most people maybe would consider is not necessary and could be moved out for some excess space, and I've certainly thought about that. But honestly, and I was even talking to someone else who had a home gym who has a kind of a big YouTube channel, and they said again, there are 2 key pieces that they definitely jumped to right away. Was a leg press and also a leg curl leg extension. And I kind of agree with that. I don't think I really want to get rid of this, especially because I use it not every single workout, but when I want to use a leg press, this feels great. So I just did a leg press the other day. So this works out good for leg press. Really does 4 exercises really well. Did a whole review on this if you guys are curious. But I would definitely accept the fact that for some people, this is not going to be worth it. Of course, you can work your legs a number of ways. Definitely a luxury item, but I think it fits in nicely with this space. Still got a lot of room here to kind of move and set up the weights. Since I'm over here, the stair climber from Steppr, do use this. I'm not a huge cardio fanatic. I do think with this Steppr and the Soul treadmill, those are probably my 2 go-tos, but more so I do it for like just physical activity throughout maybe those off days. I'm not doing a lot of heavy cardio, but I do think when I want to move my body and do something, these actually feel really good. Other miscellaneous stuff, got to clear some of these barbells out. Might be tossing some of these or getting rid of those. Just the air storage area for all my bands. And then over here to the SquatMax-MD station. This was something when I initially picked it up, I was very hesitant because aside from just the cost, which was something, the footprint, although this thing does roll around, which I do like that. How many big pieces of leg equipment do I really need? And I've heard this a lot from other people. They kind of have the same issue where it's really the leg equipment that I feel like you're really missing out in the home gym versus going to the gym, as far as just overall feeling and stimulus you get from some of the equipment. Upper body stuff, I feel like you get the same kind of feel and replication of that with the equipment you can get. I will say though, this is probably definitely my favorite leg piece. I do not regret this at all. If I was starting all over again, this will be in that top 5 things I would be considering picking up again. For me personally, aside from just doing and feeling great with the belt squats, there's a lot of other versatile things you can do with it. The belt feels great. I did a whole separate review for this, interviewed the owner creator of the SquatMax, so if you're curious about that, check it out. They also have other extender pins. Brian's supposed to send me the longer one, which I'm waiting to kind of get in on. So as limited as it kind of seems, it's actually very functional, even in the basic belt squat and how you can kind of really target and hit your legs. Love this thing. It also has one of those qualities of, despite a lot of other things in here I have that I just want to jump on and use every day. I don't use it every day, just to kind of mix things up a bit, but I love the way it feels. It feels hard, but in a really good way. Or even if you're going light, it just feels good. It has that decompression nature of just having that belt squat on you. Over here to the Rogue Echo Bike, this is probably the biggest thing that I was really surprised with. I did a whole review on this version 3 when I first got it. Didn't have other treadmills or a stair climber, and I thought this is really the cardio piece for me if I want to do some sort of aerobic activity. Love the fan effect, whatever. Love the way it feels. But I really just wasn't using it, honestly, in the last few months. It was just kind of one of these things that was actually more of a hassle. I had to keep moving it in and out before I dedicated this space. Just didn't have room for it, all the equipment that was in there. So this literally almost got sold or given away, and my wife didn't even want it in the house. It was too big. And if it wasn't for this little nook here that was preserved with the stuff we have, this thing might be for sale, because I didn't feel like just moving it around to adjust it for the sake of just getting in here and using the equipment. And believe it or not, this thing does not get in the way of my leg curl, leg extension. That was something I made sure of wasn't the case. So it works out good in that little nook there. And then over here, I got my leg curl, leg extension. This is another one that I was on the fence with for a number of reasons, and I do not regret this at all. Again, same person we were talking about with the leg press. Heard this from a lot of people. I forget who else had a big review channel was talking about this as being something they would pick up in a second, very underrated. Totally agree with that. This is something I just feel like I miss in the gym. It feels great, even despite the issues people talk about, the force curve. I find if you get the right angle and position for leg curls, leg extensions, you can make it feel great. I do a lot of drop sets with this too. So excellent machine. I love this. Made sure it was kind of level in this little position, and it was. Total gym, I'm gonna leave up here. It was gonna go in my basement gym, but I think just has more room up here. And not to mention, there's some really cool things I'll be sharing with you guys with this X15 with the Total Gym, where you can attach the cables and do some amazing things, almost similar to their C10, where they got a sliding bench with Force USA is making that I covered. I don't want to say it's kind of ruins that or cannibalizes that whole idea, but you can do a lot of really cool things if you got a pretty inexpensive Total Gym, again, at your own risk, of course, and a functional trainer. And that was pretty amazing. And I'll be showing you guys that probably in the future sometime. And then getting over here to these snow dumbbells in this stand, I was going to, and I still may, I just like the way the stand works, and it actually works out here to kind of grab the dumbbells going into the bench. I could take this cradle off and put it on the shelves of the X15, so that could be an option to kind of save some space. I just like the way the stand looks. And I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rep pep-ins when those come in, those new dumbbells, because I do just love this quick change and the feel of these dumbbells. If there's a chance I could end up, getting rid of the rep pep-ins if they don't come up to par with this. Even though those are much heavier weights, I just find, if I'm not gonna use that heavy of a weight, 9 times out of 10, I may keep these. These are just, I love these dumbbells. I love just using them all the time. And then this Iron Master SuperBench Pro, another one of my favorite purchases, one that I wasn't sure about initially, but biggest thing is it is just super practical for what you can do with it, and most importantly, and equally important, I guess, is the way you can store it and how light it is. Probably one of the most used pieces in here. Also, having a decent, really good treadmill. This is one of the reasons, aside from all this, my wife is actually using this garage gym space versus our house. So even though this kind of extends out here, you can fold it up really easy and get it out of the way. I just kind of leave it down, and these feet, don't touch the mat for where it's positioned, and still got room over there for the storage rack if I want to leave that over there. And then finally, it gets into the question people have been asking me since I kind of have this solidified gym. Well, how are you going to do review videos? And I've been saying this for a number of, months, I guess, but I do want to stop doing so many reviews. I think they're just getting, for me personally, it's a little too saturated for at least my audience is concerned. Of course, I do want to still keep covering things. We'll see how much I stick to it. But basically what I'm going to be doing, I think a lot of people are going to start doing this when they kind of see maybe this option put out there, is to just do them at other people's houses, other people's garages, because this way the other person gets a free product. You get a chance to see other people's kind of setups and home gyms, and I can still kind of do reviews and not have all this clutter sitting here. So in the future, guys, on the channel, you can look forward to a number of creative ways to kind of utilize some of this equipment. I'm always being mindful of people that don't have these big pieces of equipment. But with that being said, even something like this X15 that is, expensive, there are very small, cheaper options out there. I'll still be covering all-in-one trainers so you can replicate everything I'll be showing you with something like that here. Any questions, comments, feedback about this gym setup or things I'm going to get into in the future? If there are things you guys want to see in the future, let me know. My goal is this year, coming in the end of this year, to give you guys a little more workout focused videos on some things that you guys want to see, like stand home workouts with the all-in-one trainer, with resistance bands, of course, getting back in the sliding bench trainer with some other creative things, and not having to worry about recycling and getting rid of all this equipment, because that would burn up a lot of my time. Thanks again for watching, guys. Long video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next video. And then this Iron Master, there it is. Where's the